The slap was so hard, my vision went white. Not because I disobeyed my mother, but because I refused to cancel my appointment to save my brother's life. The appointment I was never meant to keep. I still remember the smell of antiseptic in the clinic hallway. Cold, sharp, unforgiving. The digital clock above the reception desk blinked 9:17 a.m. I had waited 3 months for this appointment. 3 months of sleepless nights. 3 months of pain I didn't tell anyone about. 3 months of pretending I was fine. Because in our family, I was always fine. The strong one, the responsible one, the one who didn't complain. My phone buzzed. Mom. I stared at the screen. I already knew what she'd say. I answered anyway. Where are you? Her voice snapped. No greeting. At the clinic, I said quietly. Silence. Then, anger. You what? I told you, Amma. I have an appointment today. You can cancel it, she said instantly. Your brother needs to be taken to the city hospital. Now. My fingers tightened around the phone. Amma, this is important. She laughed. Not a happy laugh, a disappointed one. What could be more important than your brother? That sentence followed me my whole life. Flashback. The family rules, growing up, we learned the rules early. Boys come first, needs of one son outweigh everything. Daughters adjust, always. My brother wasn't a bad person. He was just protected. Protected from consequences. Protected from responsibility. Protected from discomfort. And I was protected from nothing. If he fell sick, I stayed awake. If he failed, I supported him. If he needed money, I worked more. And when I needed something, later. Next time? You're strong? Back to the call. I can't cancel, I said. Her breathing changed. You're choosing yourself over family, she asked. No, I whispered. I'm choosing survival. She hung up. I thought that was the worst part. I was wrong. The confrontation. I reached home 2 hours later. The house was quiet. Too quiet. My mother stood near the kitchen door, her arms crossed, her eyes cold. Before I could speak, slap, the sound echoed. My head snapped sideways. Light exploded behind my eyes. Stars, literal stars. I tasted blood. How dare you? She screamed. Do you know what people will say if your brother suffers? I touched my cheek, still dizzy. What about me? I asked. She froze. I then said the words that broke something inside me. You were born to sacrifice. The price begins. That slap wasn't just physical. It was a message. You don't matter. Your pain is optional. Your health is negotiable. That night, I collapsed in my room. The test results lay folded in my bag. I hadn't told anyone yet. I was afraid. Afraid they'd say, cancel it. I didn't know it then, but the appointment I fought for that day would expose secrets my family buried for years and force my mother to face a truth she never wanted to admit. The results I hid and the truth I never expected. I woke up on the floor of my room. My cheek still burned. My head throbbed like something was trying to break its way out. For a moment, I didn't know where I was. Then I remembered the slap, the words, you were born to sacrifice. I sat up slowly, my vision swimming. My bag lay near the door. The clinic envelope was still inside, sealed, unopened, as if the truth could stay quiet if I ignored it long enough. The appointment I fought for, the doctor had looked at me differently that morning, not rushed, not distracted, concerned. Why did you wait so long? He asked gently. I smiled like I always did. I was busy. He didn't smile back. These symptoms, they're not small, he said. You've been ignoring pain for months. I shrugged. That's what you do when pain is familiar. He slid the report across the desk. Please don't ignore this one. Back to the present, my phone buzzed. A message from my brother. Amma is worried. Why couldn't you just cancel? I stared at the screen. No apology. No concern. Just expectation. I typed, deleted, typed again, then locked the phone. I opened the envelope. The results The words blurred together at first. Then they sharpened. Too sharp. Severe internal bleeding. Advanced condition. Immediate treatment required. My hands started shaking. The room felt smaller. I sat on the bed, paper clutched to my chest, trying to breathe. I thought about all the times I said I'm fine. About every night I cried silently, so no one would be disturbed. About how pain became background noise in my life. And suddenly it made sense. Flashback. When it started. It began quietly. Dizziness while cooking. Sharp pain I blamed on stress. Blackouts I hid with jokes. Once, I fainted in the kitchen. My mother stepped over me to hand my brother water. "You scared him," she said when I came to. "Not are you okay? Just him." The irony. 2 days later, my brother was admitted to the city hospital. Not serious, dehydration, stress, but the house turned into chaos. Relatives called, prayers were requested, food was cooked. I sat in my room, bleeding, quiet, invisible. The secret. No one knew that night my aunt knocked on my door. She looked tired, older than I remembered. She sat beside me and whispered, "You don't look well." I laughed. "I'm strong, remember?" She didn't laugh. Instead, she said something that stopped my heart. "You know, your mother was the same." I turned to her. "What?" "She sacrificed everything for your uncle. Her health, her youth." She paused. And it destroyed her. First crack in the lie, I went to the hospital the next morning. Not for my brother, for myself. The nurse looked alarmed. "Why didn't you come earlier?" I didn't answer. Because how do you explain a lifetime of being last? The confrontation that almost happened, my mother found me in the hospital hallway. Her face was pale. "What are you doing here?" she demanded. I handed her the report. She read it once, twice. Then her hands trembled. "What is this?" she whispered. I waited. She looked up slowly. Fear, confusion, but still no apology. "You should have told me," she said. I smiled sadly. "You never asked." What my mother didn't know was that my condition wasn't just dangerous, it was inherited. And the truth about who caused it was about to tear our family apart. The illness was inherited. But the neglect was a choice. The doctor didn't sugarcoat it. He sat across from us, me on one side, my mother on the other, and folded his hands. "This condition didn't appear overnight," he said. "It runs in families." My mother's head snapped up. "What do you mean? Runs in families?" The doctor looked at her file, then at her face. "You've had similar symptoms before, haven't you?" Silence. Heavy, painful. I turned to her slowly. She wouldn't meet my eyes. The truth she buried. Finally, she spoke. "I was diagnosed years ago," she whispered. My chest tightened. "You knew?" I asked. She nodded once. "They told me to rest, to slow down." She laughed bitterly. But who had time for that?" The room felt smaller. She looked at me then, really looked, like she was seeing a reflection she didn't want. I thought, if I ignored it, it wouldn't matter, she said. "And you let me do the same," I replied. Her lips trembled. A pattern, not an accident. Everything made sense. Why she normalized pain? Why she praised sacrifice? Why she believed suffering was love? Because that's how she survived. By disappearing. By making herself small. And she taught me to do the same. The brother problem. My brother walked in mid-conversation. "What's going on?" he asked casually. The doctor explained again. My brother frowned. "So, she's sick too?" "Too, like an inconvenience." "Is it serious?" he asked. The doctor nodded. "Yes, very." My brother shifted uncomfortably. But she's always been dramatic," he said. The room went silent. My mother gasped. For the first time, she defended me. "Enough," she snapped. He looked shocked. The shift later that evening, my mother came into my hospital room. She sat beside me. Didn't touch me. Didn't speak. Finally, she whispered, I thought I was making you strong. I closed my eyes. You were teaching me to disappear. Tears fell, silently, down her cheeks. I don't know how to fix this, she said. I looked at her. You can't fix the past, I replied. But you can stop repeating it. The price everyone paid, treatment started immediately. Expensive, long, exhausting, and suddenly, resources appeared, money that was never there before, time that was impossible before. Yeah, sacrifice that had always been demanded from me, now expected from someone else. My brother didn't like it. He complained, he resisted, and for the first time in his life, he was told no. Realization, one night, my brother stood at my door. I didn't know it was this bad, he said. I studied his face. You didn't want to know? I replied. He didn't argue. I thought the worst was over, until the doctor pulled me aside and told me the one thing that could change everything for all of us. The price was pain, but the choice was mine. The doctor waited until my mother stepped out. He closed the door gently. There's something you need to know, he said. I already knew by the way he looked at me. The final truth. Your condition has progressed, he continued. Medication will help, but it won't be enough. My hands went cold. There's a procedure, he said carefully. High risk, long recovery. I swallowed. And if I don't? He didn't answer right away. That choice would shorten your life. Silence? Not fear, clarity. For the first time in my life, the decision was mine. A life of choices I never got. I thought of every moment I said yes when I meant no. Every dream postponed. Every pain minimized. I thought of the slap, of stars exploding behind my eyes, and I realized something powerful. That slap didn't break me. It woke me up, the conversation that mattered. I asked my mother and brother to come in. I told them everything. No drama, no anger, just truth. My mother cried openly now. My brother looked at the floor. I'll do the procedure, I said. But things will change. They both looked up. I won't disappear anymore, I continued. I won't be the default sacrifice. My mother nodded, sobbing. My brother whispered, I understand. I wasn't sure he did. But that wasn't my responsibility anymore. The procedure? The day of surgery, I lay under bright lights. For once, my hands were held. My mother on one side, a nurse on the other. As anesthesia took over, I thought, this is what choosing yourself feels like. Recovery. Healing was slow, painful, but real. My brother learned to make his own appointments. My mother learned to rest. Actually rest. And I learned something new. Boundaries aren't cruelty. They're survival. The mirror moment. Months later, I looked at myself in the mirror. And the scar was visible. So was my strength. I wasn't the strong child anymore. I was a whole person. Final scene. One evening, my mother touched my cheek gently. Not to control, not to punish, to apologize. I'm sorry, she said, for the slap and everything before it. I nodded. Forgiveness came quietly, not because she deserved it, but because I did. Some people think strength means sacrifice. I learned too late. Real strength is choosing yourself, even when it costs everything.